Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating that literally affects every single organization, team, and board of directors out there. We're talking about the hidden dynamics of group risk culture. If you've ever sat there and wondered how on earth did a room full of really smart people collectively make such a baffling high-stakes decision, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to unpack exactly how group attitudes form and look at the specific mental shortcuts or heuristics that are driving them behind the scenes. Okay, let's dive right in. Think of this as our roadmap. First up, defining group risk culture. Then, we'll look at internal group heuristics, followed by risky and cautious shifts. After that, the influence of national culture, and finally, modifying group risk culture. So, starting off with Section 1, defining group risk culture. Listen, group risk culture is not just some policy written in a dusty company handbook. It's the overarching attitude of the group. It's really this shared collective lens through which a team looks at danger, opportunity, and consequence. And when we mention heuristics here, what we're really talking about are those ingrained, often totally subconscious shortcuts that a group uses to navigate these risks every single day. Moving on to Section 2, internal group heuristics. Now, when we zoom in and look strictly within the boundaries of a team, there are two fascinating internal dynamics that fundamentally alter how a group perceives what's safe and what's dangerous. Those are the groupthink heuristic and the Moses factor. Let's start with the groupthink heuristic. Honestly, this is a powerful and often super destructive force. It happens when a group's desire for internal harmony, just getting along, totally overrides their ability to rationally evaluate an outcome. Their attitude toward risk gets completely skewed. You'll see massive red flags and literal ticking time bombs just get ignored, all for the sake of maintaining consensus. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the Moses factor. While groupthink is all about the collective, the Moses factor introduces the danger of a single, highly authoritative figure. Picture a super charismatic CEO or a really intimidating senior partner. Kind of like Moses parting the sea, right? This individual's sheer influence just parts the sea of opinions. They immediately steer the group's risk appetite right in their preferred direction, which, as you can guess, often completely silences any healthy dissent in the room. Okay, Section 3, risky and cautious shifts. So once these internal biases actually take hold, groups rarely just stay put. Their risk attitudes shift, and they often swing to completely contrasting extremes. Sometimes, the internal echo chamber pushes the team to take on vastly more risk than any single person would dare to on their own. We call that the risky shift. But other times, the exact opposite happens. The dynamic paralyzes the team, driving them into this overly conservative, cautious shell. Recognizing which way your specific group naturally swings is absolutely crucial, and honestly, a massive competitive advantage. Next up, Section 4, the influence of national culture. This naturally brings up a pretty vital question. How do external national cultural factors actually influence internal group risk? Because let's face it, a team doesn't just exist in a vacuum, right? It operates right within the pressures of a much larger societal framework. The answer really lies in the cultural conformity heuristic. A group's risk culture is heavily bent by the desire to conform to the broader societal norms around them. Just as an example, what might be considered a completely standard normal business risk in a highly entrepreneurial culture, well, that same move might be viewed as incredibly reckless in a more traditional risk-averse society. Groups are basically subconsciously calibrating their internal compasses to match their external environment. You can really think of the influence of national culture as the invisible hand guiding a group's baseline risk tolerance. You literally cannot fully diagnose a team's risk attitude without understanding the macro-level cultural identity where that team was formed and where it operates today. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, modifying group risk culture. Everything we've talked about builds into this really powerful sequential process. Step 1 is simply understanding the heuristics, diagnosing the groupthink, the Moses factor, the cultural conformity, and those resulting shifts. Only after you do that can you move to Step 2, which is actually modifying the culture. You just can't attempt to fix a group's risk behavior until you've successfully identified those invisible heuristics driving it in the first place. Because at the end of the day, modifying the group risk culture is our ultimate actionable end goal here. Once you map out these dynamics, you can actually step in. You can designate devil's advocates to disrupt that negative groupthink. You can pull a team back from a dangerous, risky shift. And, you can consciously restructure your meetings to foster a much healthier, more objective approach to taking chances. So this leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. Are you ready to identify and modify the risk culture in your own group? Seriously, take a look around your very next meeting. Is the Moses factor dominating the room? Are you maybe experiencing a cautious shift? By mastering these concepts, you're no longer just a passenger in your group's culture. You have the power to actually be its architect. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep an eye out for these hidden dynamics in your everyday professional life.